You don't even work and can't even do your housework properly? I'm disappointed that I have a wife like you who is nothing but a scumbag.
My husband won't stop spouting off nonsense and hating on me. His outbursts are happening on the daily now. I've heard so many hurtful words that I've become numb to it. But I'm a human too, and my heart is definitely hurting. I've been putting up with it for ages, but I can't take it anymore. I was able to calmly say this to my husband, which was unexpected. I'm done. Let's call it quits and get divorced. For a second, my husband was taken aback, but then he just smirked and gave me a sly grin. He signaled at me, then gave me a quick scan and brushed me off with these words.
Bring it on. You'll be in deep trouble once we get divorced, since you're just a housewife.
I almost burst into laughter when he made that disrespectful and misunderstood remark. He still doesn't seem to realize what kind of fate awaits him if he divorces me. My name is Nancy Kerr. I am 29 years old. I got married 3 years ago, and now I am a housewife, supporting my husband, Jason. Jason and I got married after dating for a year and a half. He moved into the apartment I was living in, and we started living together. I was drawn to his macho side. It always overshadowed my hesitant and timid side, even though he could be a bit overpowering at times. When he proposed to me, he said,
You can count on me to be there for you, Nancy. I've got your back. I'll handle what you can to make up for what you're missing.
Are you sure you want to be with me?
What are you talking about? Nancy, you're the first girl I've ever wanted to tie the knot with.
Jason. Okay, thank you. Jason, I also want us to be a family together.
Oh, I'm really glad. Hey, from now on, we're more than just a couple. We're family now, okay? We'll always be together.
His cheeks were a little flushed from laughing, but he had a big smile on his face. I remember that he smiled and I smiled too. But when did things start to fall apart? When did things start to go downhill in our marriage? Looking back, I think it all started when I became a housewife. I never planned on quitting my job for good, but my husband asked me to step down when we got married. To be honest, my job was pretty substantial, and I made way more money than my parents ever did. I was disappointed about quitting, but he asked me to be a stay-at-home wife, so I just went with what he wanted. I was debating whether to keep my job for the perks and savings, but Jason wants me to stay at home, so I guess that's what I should do, right? Plus, Jason's always had my back whenever I've had issues. From the start of our relationship, Jason's been the one to make decisions for us since I can't make up my mind. Being around him has made me think he's always right about everything. So, I happily agreed to be a full-time homemaker at his request. But from then on, things began to change and go against my idea of a perfect family. Day after day, my husband's been getting more and more demanding as I take care of the house.
Hey, what kind of dinner is this? You think it'll fill me up after a long day?
It all went down because of this situation. One day, 2 months after we got married, my husband came home from work and saw the dinner I had prepared. There was nothing much different from what he usually eats. But I guess he wasn't in a good mood that day. I unintentionally said back to Jason, I don't think it's any different from usual. And I think it struck a nerve in him. My husband just chucked his bag and went off on me with a nasty attitude.
Whoa, seriously? You can't talk to me like that. I've been working from morning till night.
Huh? What's wrong? You don't have to yell at me so suddenly.
Nancy, you're just at home, so you should do your chores better. You're a housewife, and you have time all day long. Why can't you even do these simple things?
What do you mean? I prepared the meal the same way I always do, didn't I? Don't get so mad at me.
Why am I the only one who has to deal with stress when I get back home? Enough. I can't handle this, so I'm just gonna go out and eat.
My husband took only his wallet and phone and left the house. I couldn't even process with everything that was going on. Was I really that terrible as his wife? He didn't have to be so angry over the dinner. I could have made other dishes. Ever since that day, my husband's behavior has been getting worse and worse. He's acting like I'm his personal servant now. He doesn't even bother saying my name and just yells out, "Hey," or "you," when he needs something. Still, I believed in my husband because I loved him. I assumed this was the only time he'd be treating me so harshly, but I had faith that once things calmed down, he'd go back to being the gentle man I love. But I was just being naive. It's been 3 years since we tied the knot, and my husband's attitude is just getting worse and worse. So much has gone down in these past 3 years. First, my husband's been tightening the purse strings on my living expenses. He claims that his salary has gone down due to the company's poor performance. We barely had enough money to cover our basic living expenses, and if we were to cut them down even more, we wouldn't be able to survive. With everything getting more expensive, I had to tap into my single life savings to make up for the difference. But turns out, my husband's salary didn't go down because of the company's poor performance. I believed my husband, but he was actually lying to me. While I was cleaning my husband's room one day, I found his pay stub and saw that his salary went up. It's possible he wasn't telling the truth, so he could keep more money for himself. When I learned this, I was more disappointed than mad. Then it crossed my mind that I better start putting money aside so I can divorce my husband if anything happens. Since my husband would find out if I went out to work, I decided to look for a job that I could do at home on my computer. For the first few months, I earned only about $100, but now, a year later, I am earning quite a bit of money every month. To start with, my husband is not my sole provider, as I have additional income from stocks that were bequeathed to me by my father. Therefore, no matter how much I earn from home, my husband will never find out. At one point, my savings were going down, but now they're doing much better. I have enough savings to live on, even if we get divorced. Every day, my husband keeps being a total jerk to me, but I'm getting ready to divorce his sorry butt.
You don't even work and can't even do the housework properly? I'm disappointed that I have a wife like you who is nothing but a scumbag.
Before, as his housewife, I couldn't handle my husband's verbal abuse. Now that I've got things figured out, his outbursts don't affect me as much. But I was completely clueless. Because recently it hit me that my problems weren't going to be resolved anytime soon. When I woke up in the morning, my husband was asleep in his suit in the living room. He has been coming home late for the past few months, and we hardly see each other at night. As I was about to pick up the socks he had taken off, I noticed my husband's phone that had fallen under the couch. Normally, I wouldn't be particularly bothered by this, but for some reason I felt strangely uncomfortable on this particular day, and I couldn't help but pick up the phone. I placed my husband's fingers on the phone as he slept soundly, and unlocked it with fingerprint recognition. Then a message with a certain person appeared on the screen. Huh? What's this? It was a message sent from Eileen, and from the content it seems that she is my husband's mistress. Perhaps my husband fell asleep while texting her. At the end of the message, Eileen wrote, "Have you fallen asleep? Good night. I love you," and other lovey-dovey messages. I hurriedly moved to another room and began looking for evidence of the affair on my husband's phone. There were tons of messages left with his mistress, but it looks like that doesn't count as solid proof. There are endless ways to make fake texts these days, like through spoofing and forgery. So basically, it's hard to use them as proof. That's why I went ahead and got a private investigator to gather some trustworthy evidence. I told the person in charge of the case about the situation and asked him to start the investigation immediately. During the investigation, I must not let my husband find out about it. He was his usual rude self, cursing at me, and I almost blurted out about how I knew about his affair, but I decided to keep it to myself. When I went to the private investigator a month after, he had all the evidence of the affair. A mountain of photos laid out in front of me showed my husband alone with Eileen, the woman he had cheated on me with. I wasn't shocked, just furious and wanting to get back at them for how they disrespected me. I was steaming mad that he had the nerve to be abusive and arrogant, even though he was the one cheating on me. He decreased our living expenses for his mistress. I will never let it end like this. I will put him through hell. I went home with the evidence and waited for my husband to come home so I could talk to him. A few hours later, after midnight, he finally came home. Just as I was about to broach the subject, Jason looked around the room and sighed heavily.
What a messy room. Ugh, what have you been doing all day?
I was just at home.
Then you should at least clean the rooms properly. Look, there's a hair on the floor right by your feet.
Isn't it normal for hair to fall out when you live in a house? Quit yelling at me over little things. My husband was steaming mad because I stood my ground and talked back to him harder than usual. He roughly grabbed me and started yelling without any mercy.
What's with all the excuses? Who do you think provides for your needs, huh?
I could say the same thing to you, right? I'm taking care of the house, too.
Huh? I don't want to hear that from you who just lays around at home all day.
That's it. I'm at my breaking point. I can't take it anymore.
What did you just say?
I shook off my husband's hand that was clutching my chest and glared at him. Before I knew it, I was talking to my husband in a calm and collected manner. I'm done. Let's call it quits and get divorced. For a second, my husband was taken aback, but then he just smirked and gave me a sly grin. He signaled at me, then gave me a quick scan and brushed me off with these words.
Bring it on. You'll be in deep trouble once we get divorced since you're just a housewife.
I almost burst into laughter when he made that disrespectful and misunderstood remark. He still doesn't seem to realize what kind of fate awaits him if he divorces me. So the next day, my husband picked up the divorce papers, not really thinking I'd actually go through with it, and then sarcastically handed me the completed form. But this is just perfect for me. As soon as I filed the papers, we could get divorced immediately. The next day, while my husband was at work, I started packing and went to a real estate agency to rent a new apartment. I quickly found a new place to live in and quickly made preparations so that my husband would not find out about it. Fortunately, I found an apartment that I could move into right away, so I prepared to move out while my husband was away from home. Then, without telling Jason anything, I filed the divorce papers and left the house. After a while, he noticed that I was not at home, and he sent me some messages like,
"Where are you? I'll let it slide if you just come back here."
But I ignored the messages since my plan was already done. 2 weeks later, when I thought it was about time, I received a phone call from Jason as expected. Trying not to burst out laughing at his normal antics, I still managed to answer the phone and kept my cool. "Hello?"
"Hey, what were you thinking?"
"What are you talking about?"
"Don't play dumb. What's this content certified letter about? When did you even... I didn't hear any of this, did I?"
Yes, my plan was to thoroughly put Jason and his mistress Eileen through hell. After obtaining proof of my husband's affair through a private investigator, I retained a lawyer's office and sent a certified letter to both him and his mistress requesting alimony payments. Jason probably assumed my leaving was a spur-of-the-moment decision and that I would eventually come back. It was clear that he couldn't hide his astonishment when he discovered that we were divorced. His affair was uncovered, and I had requested alimony from both of them. His face was red with frustration as he shouted,
"Just come home already."
And I couldn't hold back my laughter. It finally dawned on him. What a fool. I confronted my ex-husband with the reality of the situation. Listen, there's more to it, all right?
What do you mean?
Wow, you still haven't noticed. That apartment you're living in, it's in my name.
Oh no.
Did you forget that you moved into my apartment? By the way, I've already canceled the lease. You'll need to move out by the end of the month, so make sure you do that.
Come on, wait a minute. There's only a week left of this month, right? What do you want me to do? What, if I don't move, are you going to throw me out?
I'm not sure, but probably. Why don't you just go to your mistress's house? You can just go over there and have fun, right? Oh, yeah, but you can't. She's married too, right? Turns out his mistress was also married. Of course, I sent a content-certified letter to Eileen's place, so her husband must have already found out about it. My revenge against them has just begun.
But there's no way. You're just a housewife, and there's no way you can make ends meet even if we get divorced.
I calmly told my husband so he'd fully understand the situation now. Oh, you didn't know? I originally had income from stock inherited from my father, and I was also working from home without telling you. Thanks to that, I have a lot of money for the divorce.
Oh no. Forgive me, please, Nancy. It all happened in an impulse, you see.
Jason, who had found out about my actual situation, begged me in a trembling voice as if he was about to cry at any moment. But I have no intention of forgiving him now. The pain I have suffered is nothing like this. I said clearly in a voice as cold as ever. Forgive you? What are you saying now? You can't just ask for help without apologizing for all the pain you caused me. That's not right. It was a good thing I divorced you. And I can't believe that the person you cheated on me with was also married.
I'm sorry for cheating on you and for everything I did and for my attitude. And I promise it won't happen again. So please, please forgive me. I don't have the money to pay alimony and she has a family too. So will you...
You've got to be kidding me. You're the one who ruined our marriage in the first place, aren't you? Quit speaking whatever's easy for you. I have no intention of forgiving you. Go crawl in the depths of hell with your stupid mistress. I shouted as I said this and hung up the phone. After that, I received dozens of phone calls and messages, but I never responded to any of them. I heard that my ex-husband and his mistress later broke up easily. I heard that his mistress had no intention of leaving her actual husband, because Jason was just for fun and it was all a game for her. She was just playing around with Jason and making him pay for whatever she wanted. She was just taking advantage of the fact that he seemed to be interested in her. When Eileen's husband found out that both Jason and Eileen worked at the same company, he reported the incident to their company. My ex-husband and Eileen were each demoted and sent to different remote places. He had to pay alimony to me, his salary was reduced, and he was demoted to someplace else. His future will be very difficult. I, on the other hand, was to return to my former company. A good colleague of mine talked me into it, and my boss agreed. I am now living a fulfilling life without any inconvenience. To be honest, I am much happier than when I was married. From now on, I hope to spend peaceful days for my own happiness. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.